नंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी जय यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की गुरुदेव की जय। बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God Narayana, unto Narayana and Rishi, the supremest human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Sri Vyasdev, the author. Nashta prayesha badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of God, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. So, Hare Krishna Prabhu Mataji. So, today I have been given the opportunity to glorify the Lord through the verse, 4th canto, 8th chapter, verse number 81. So, let us recite the verse first. Deva Uchuhu Naivam Vidamo Bhagavan Pranarodham Characharasya Kila Sattvadhamnah Videtanno Vrijina Vimoksham Prapta Vayam Tvam Sharanam Sharanyam Deva Uchuhu Naivam Vidamo Bhagavan Pranarodham Characharasya Kila Sattvadhamnah Videhi tanno vrijinad vimoksham prapta vayam tvam sharanam sharanyam deva uchuhu naivam vidamo bhagavan pranarodham charasya khila satvadamna videhi tanno vrijinad vimoksham prapta vayam tvam sharanam sharanyam. So one Prabhuji and one Mataji can recite.
May I, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
देवौचुः नैवं विदामो भगवन् प्राणरोधं चराचरस्य किल सत्त्वधाम्नः विधेहि तन्नो वृजनाद्विमोक्षं प्राप्ता वयं त्वां शरणं शरण्यं. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hey, Prabhus.
Hare Krishna, may I?
Yes. Yes, Prabhupada.
देवाऊचुः नैवं विदामो भगवन् प्राणरोधम् चराचरस्याखिल सत्त्वधाम्नः विदेहि तन्नो वृजिनात् विमोक्षम् प्राप्ता वयं त्वां शरणं शरण्यम्.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Go to the word meaning. Synonyms. Deva Auchuhu. All the demigods said. Na, not. Evam, thus. Vidamaha, we can understand. Bhagavan, O personality of Godhead. Pranarodham, how we feel our breathing choked. Achara, moving. Acharasya, not moving. Akhila, universal. Sattva, existence. Damnaha, the desire of. Videhi, kindly do the needful. Tat, that. Tat, therefore. Na, or. Vrijinath, from the danger. Moksham, liberation. Praptaha, approaching. Vayam, all of us. Tvam, unto you. Sharanam, shelter. Sharanyam, worthy to be taken shelter of. Translation and purport with Divine English, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anybody wants to read the translation?
Hare Krishna,
Yeah,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji.
Sharan.
Yes.
Please
Continue,
continue,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Continue, Mataji.
Okay, thank you. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The demigod said, Dear Lord, you are the refuge of all moving and non-moving living entities. We feel all living entities to be suffocating. The breathing process is choked up. We have never experienced such a thing. Since you are the ultimate shelter of all surrendered souls, we have therefore approached you. Kindly save us from this danger. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Vani. Purport by Divine English, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dhruva Maharaj's influence, attained by executing devotional service unto the Lord, was felt even by the demigods, who had never been before experienced such a situation. Because of Dhruva Maharaj controlling his breathing, the entire universal breathing process was choked. It is by the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that material entities cannot breathe, whereas spiritual entities are able to breathe. Material entities are products of the Lord's external energy, whereas spiritual entities are products of the Lord's internal energy. The demigods approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the controller of both kinds of entities, in order to know why their breathing was choked. Supreme Lord is the ultimate goal for the solution to all problems within this material world. In the spiritual world, there are no problems, but the material world is always problematic. Since the Supreme Personality of God is the master of both the material and spiritual worlds, it is better to approach him in all problematic situations. Therefore, those who are devotees have no problems in this material world. Vishwam Purna Sukhayate, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Devotees are free from all problems because they are fully surrendered unto the Supreme Personality of God. For a devotee, everything in the world is very pleasing because he knows how to use everything in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Jai Chiraprabhupada's transcendental purport ki jai. Om Gyantavarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamahyam Dadat Subhadandikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagar Jatam Sagana Raghunatam Tam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagananita Shri Vishaka Vitamsya He Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी शबानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च वासन्तुभैर्यश्च हरिदान पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचं मां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयति अखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यां च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्रणो भगवते परशाय तुभ्यं मुखं पङ्गुं कृपातमं वन्दे प्रमाणिमाने ओ विष्णुमूर्ते महाविष्णुस्वामिनामने बुद्धिमत्स्वामी So Hare Krishna Prabhu's Mataji's welcome all of you first. hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So today we'll be discussing this 4881 verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. A very important verse and very instructive. So let us see what we can learn. See, in fact, the verse before this, we are discussing 4881. But there's a beautiful verse, the previous one, 4880, where it says, when Dhruva Maharaj became practically one in heaviness with Lord Vishnu, the total consciousness, due to his fully concentrating and closing all the holes of his body, the total universal breathing became choked up. And all the great demigods and all the planetary systems felt suffocated and thus took shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See, we are not seeing Dhruva Maharaj practically or physically, but we have seen and heard Srila Prabhupada, who was created and is still continuing to create, see such an unfathomable impact on millions of people all over the world. Srila Prabhupada is the best example. He has taken the world by storm in such a short time. He has influenced all the people of the world by building 108 temples in a span of 11 years and spread the Krishna consciousness movement worldwide. And Prabhupada made the whole process very easy for us, right? However, we are so unfortunate that still we are not following it strictly. It is our duty to remember always that we are very insignificant when compared to Srila Prabhupada and all the acharyas in the ISKCON movement. We are insignificant. We should not neglect our prescribed duties. And also, we should sincerely endeavor to spread Krishna consciousness positively. Sorry. See, bhakti is contagious and purity is the force. Unless we are pure in our practice, our preaching will not be effective. So when we are pure in our endeavors, in performing our devotional service perfectly, then by the causeless mercy of Guru and Krishna, others also will be inspired to take the path of bhakti. Now let us see the reason why we are unable to surrender to Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right, 18.6, Sarva dharma parityaja, please surrender unto me. But the point is why we are not not able to surrender to Krishna. My Guru Maharaj used to say that we do not appreciate the transcendental nature of the Lord. And that is why our surrender is always conditioned or incomplete. We are not understood. That's the problem. To understand the transcendental nature of the Lord, we must carve in our minds 3 verses. Sorry. See, to understand the transcendent nature of the Lord, which we are not being able to do. So what we have to do, we must carve in our minds the 3 verses which I will just discuss. First one is the description of Krishna as the original person, Adi Deva. So Bhagavatam 11.30, Bhagavad Gita 11.38 says, Tamadi Deva Purusha Puranas Tamasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam Iddhasi Vedyam Cha Param Cha Dhama Tvaya Tatam Vishwamananta Rupa. You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you're all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge above the material modes. Oh, limitless form, this whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. This is the first beautiful verse. But to understand Krishna as Adi Deva, the original personality of Godhead, we must go to Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the postgraduate study of the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita has given the root that he is the original person. So how Krishna is original is very beautifully described in Bhagavatam 2.9.33. First Chaturshloki verse in the Bhagavatam. Aham evasam evagre nanyadhyat sadasatparam paschadaham yadetacha yo shishyeta yosmayam. Brahma, it is I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was exist before the creation, when there was nothing but myself. Sorry. Nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I, personality of Godhead. After annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead. See, not only is the Lord original, but he is complete. Because nothing can be taken out from him, right? And nothing can be added to him. The spiritual 1 plus 1 is equal to 1, 1 minus 1 is also 1. So this completeness of the Lord is described in the invocation of Ishopanishad. Om Purnamada Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnam Eva Vashishyate. The personality of God is perfect and complete. And because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced as a complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is a complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. So these three verses should force us to be very humble. 11.38 Bhagavad Gita, 233 Bhagavatam, and the Ishopanishad, the invocation, first verse. So this should make us see, really, we do not have any value. But because of our false ego, we think that we are all in all. Our possession is nothing. Nothing we can create. Nothing we can enjoy. Nothing except to recognize authority Adideva. Only that we have to do. Except that we cannot do anything in this yoni particularly. See, all of the species of life are completely in the dark. They do not have any idea of the this metaphysical side of the existence, right? But in this yoni only, Krishna's mercy, he has given some special understanding to us. You know, in between the ignorance of the childhood and old age, we have some intelligence. In this yoni also, child has no intelligence at all. See, when he gets into the 15 or 16 years, he will slowly start thinking. Then again, the youth and the middle age passes. And in old age, we do not know whether the consciousness remains pure or not. And again, we forget. So, only in the in-between years, we are given the special facility. So, how much it is important to understand this and try to surrender. We should continuously study and refer Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So, the point to understand is the more we read, we'll be able to refer because the same principles are described everywhere. It is not anything else. It is all one. That is why our continuous thinking must be in these lines. Whereas our thinking is completely haywire. We do not know what we are thinking actually. And as soon as you stop thinking about Krishna, it means you'll be thinking of material matter. The moment you do not think about Krishna, you're thinking about material matters. That is definite. So thinking will go on. And that is the nature of the mind. So we are given a special facility in this species of existence, human life. And we are the luckiest persons to come under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada. Sharanam Sharani means, this is worthy of shelter, taking shelter of. That is Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada has made everything very clear. If without Prabhupada's mercy, we will never know these verses also. Even if we hear the verses, we may enjoy the transcendental vibration. And apart from that, we do not understand anything. Only transcendental vibration is there, but understanding is not there. But Prabhupada has made everything very clear. And Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, really, he correctly advised Prabhupada to preach this knowledge to the English-speaking population. And now we are all speaking in English, right? We also now understand more in English than in any other language. Anyhow, language does not matter. The understanding must be there. So this understanding being transcendental, the natural effect of this understanding is complete detachment from the contamination of matter. See, we can do unconditional surrender to the Lord only if we can appreciate the transcendental nature of the Lord through the pages of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. The natural effect of understanding the transcendence is, what is it? Complete detachment from contamination of matter. So that is the result. Vairagya Vidya. In Vidya word, the word vid is there. Vid means to know. Vidya means that which is worth knowing. So Vairagya has got to be known. But because we do not understand why we are cultivating Vairagya, see, in Vairagya also we are misled or misdirected. The correct direction is not there. That's why Srila Prabhupada gave the whole thing. He did not tell only to tell us to create a detachment. But he established the temple communities, to learn how to get detached from matter and get attraction to the worship of Krishna. So Prabhupada is a whole package. Prabhupada does not only give philosophy, but practical application of philosophy. Again, with the temple communities, he's given so many Namahatta programs where again Vairagya Vidya is spread. So those who are unable to come and stay in the temple can have their own programs. A few people can come together, they can chant and read. So this is the way. Now, because we do not understand Krishna, that is why we do not have the rati or attraction. We are not still attracted to Krishna. That is why we are beating about the bush. So all these pages of Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, they force us to get attracted to Krishna. Now, complex situations are there. Families are breaking down. So many things are there, but it doesn't matter. Human values do not change. The social status may change here and there, but human values remain the same. That's why, in any condition of material life, three things are very vital. Number one, you have to have attraction to the transcendence. Number two, you have to understand it through the pages of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Number three, you must be seriously inquisitive. Prabhupada writes in the purport to Bhagavatam 1 to 12. Devotional service, which is based on the foreground of full knowledge, combined with detachment from material association, and which is fixed by the oral reception of Vedanta Shruti, is only perfect method by which the seriously inquisitive student can realize the absolute truth. It's a beautiful statement, 1 to 12, which we should memorize and keep it in front of us. See, in verse 3:25:11, Bhagavatam, this desire to know is described as jigyasayaham. The seriously inquisitive nature is absent. That is why out of 24 hours a day, 23 and a half go in nonsense. And what is to be done, and what is done in that 23 and a half hours could be done in half an hour. That capacity we have. That is why we have the voluntary retirement scheme, right? VRS. Either you'll voluntarily retire or you'll be force kicked. Anyway, you have to retire. So that should be regarded as a special prerogative offered to by Krishna, right? So by investing that time in Bhagavatam, we learn so many things. So the necessity of driving away laziness, lethargy, so that we can learn Bhagavatam is very, very important. Another point too is there's very great necessity of developing the seriously inquisitive nature regarding the spiritual matters. For this, lethargy has to be driven away. Lethargy is laziness, has to be driven away. Laziness is very easy to conquer, but we do not want to really conquer. That's the point to understand. The intense desire is not there. And to have the intense desire, practical thing has got to be seen. See, the day is bound to come when your eyes will not be opening, you cannot hear anything. We should get more attracted to Bhagavad Gita and everything spiritual before the body fails. Bhagavatam, the Bhagavatam instructs us, Churnam yateta na patet anumrityu yavat. A sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life. As long as his body is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. Again, we are going to face another death, and before that death comes, You have to try immediately and turn to the books and notebooks. See, we are not the cause of the material activities. They happen. What do we do? Krishna supplies everything, and we forget the original source. So this is our condition, and in all the material matters, we cannot do anything until Krishna does. See, there is no way you can arrange without His mercy. But even then, we put ourselves in the forefront. There is gross ignorance to think, I do, I do. You know, those days, bullock cart, no? Bullock cart is driven by the bullock, right? And the dog comes in between the bullock and thinks he is pulling the cart. We are at best these dogs. Meaning, material things don't take long. So if we have to try to do something and invest our energy in Bhagavatam, the energy will multiply, it will spread everywhere. You have to do only those 3 verses. Bhagavad Gita 11.38, Bhagavatam 2.9.33, and Ishopanishad invocation. That will give you the insight into the nature of the Supreme Absolute Truth. There are innumerable verses in Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. See, when you open, it is all Krishna. That is why it is non-different from Krishna. There are only 2 things in the scriptures. One is instructions about correcting our contaminated behavior, and the other thing is transcendence. There is nothing else in the scriptures. All different episodes are there to correct our contaminated behavior. So how the behavior pattern should be for Krishna conscious person is explained. And with that behavior only, you can enter into the transcendence, and that is explained beautifully in Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. See, for the last so many years, we are discussing Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Even now, if we do not touch the purity, then what are we discussing daily? So every day morning we are coming to Bhagavad Gita, the Bhagavatam, right? So many programs we are attending. But if still that touch of purity is not there, then what are we actually discussing? What are we trying to practice? See, day in and day out, we have to be on our guard and maintain the purity in behavior. You may suggest something, but nobody is going to guard you, and you must be on your self-guard. Nobody is watching you, but of course, Krishna is definitely watching. Say, oh, nobody is here, now I can do whatever I want. No, it's not like that. So, honesty, sincerity is very much, that will create purity. See, one may be able to perform devotional service, right? Or many items according to one's capacity. But it is the principal factor of complete attachment to the devotional service that makes one advance on the path. See, some devotees in history, like Ambarish Maharaj, he attained perfection in devotional service by executing all the items of devotional service. While many others attain perfection by discharging duties of only one item. So Ambarish Maharaj perfected by all 9 processes of devotional service. Shravanam Ketanam Vishnoho, Smaranam Pada Sevanam, Archanam Mandanam Dasyam, Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. 7.523 Bhagavat. So these 9 processes of devotional service are: number 1, hearing the name and glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shravanam. 2, chanting His glories. 3, remembering the Lord. 4, serving the Lord's feet. 5, worshipping the deity. 6, offering obeisances unto the Lord. 7, acting as the Lord's servant. 8, making friends with the Lord. And 9, surrendering oneself fully to the Lord. Atma Nivedanam. Shravanam or hearing is the first step in acquiring transcendental knowledge. So one should not give, one should not give oral reception to unauthorized persons. One should approach the proper person, as it is recommended in Bhagavad Gita 4.34. Tadvidhi prati pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshanaha. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge to you because they have seen the truth. See, some of them are, see, Maharaj Parikshit was liberated and fully perfected simply by hearing Shravanam. Shukadeva Goswami, who became liberated and attain perfection in devotion simply by chanting. Prahlad Maharaj, who attained perfection by remembering. Lakshmi, goddess Lakshmi, attained perfection by serving the Lord's lotus feet. Serving. King Prithu attained perfection simply by worshipping. Akrura attained perfection simply by praying. Hanuman attained perfection simply by becoming the servant of Lord Ram. Arjuna attained perfection simply by being a friend of Krishna. And Bali Maharaj attained perfection simply by offering whatever he had in his possession. So you can see all those 9 processes. Ambarish Maharaj followed all of the 9, but these are just one of them is enough. Guru Maharaj, he was cognizant, he knew about the defective nature of his own devotion service because he had gone for material purposes, right? But pure devotion service is without material form and it's not covered by mental speculation or creative activities. Pure devotion service is therefore called ahituki, unmotivated. But Guru Maharaj knew that he had come to worship the Lord in devotion service with a motive to get the kingdom of his father. So such an adulterated devotee can never see the Supreme Personality of God face to face. So he felt very grateful for the causeless mercy of the Lord. See, the Lord is so merciful. Not only does he fulfill the desires of a devotee who is driven by ignorance and desires for material benefit, but he also gives such a devotee all protection. Just as a cow gives milk to a newly born calf. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that Lord gives intelligence to the constantly engaged devotee so that he may gradually approach the Lord without difficulty. A devotee we must be very sincere in his devotional service. Although there may be many things wrong to the devotee's heart. So Krishna will guide him and gradually elevate him to the highest position of devotional service. See, now Dhruva Maharaj was controlling his breathing, right? And the entire universal breathing process was choking. In Madrikashrama, Dhruva Maharaj's senses became completely purified because he bathed regularly in the crystal clear purified water. He fixed his sitting position and by yogic practice controlled the breathing process and the air of life. In this way, his senses were completely withdrawn. Then he concentrated his mind on Archa Vigraha from the form of the Lord. This is the exact replica of the Lord. And thus, meditating upon him, entered into complete trance. So this is the description of the Ashtanga Yoga system, to which Dhruva Maharaj was already accustomed. Ashtanga Yoga is not meant to be practiced in a fashionable city. So Dhruva Maharaj went to Badrikashram. And in a solitary place, alone he practiced yoga. So he concentrated his mind on the Archa Vigraha. When I was okay in the morning, what happened? Worship a deity of the Lord, which exactly represents the Supreme Lord, and thus thinking constantly of that deity, he became absorbed in the trance. So worship of Archa Vigraha is not idol worship. Archa Vigraha is an incarnation of the Lord in a form appreciable by a devotee. So therefore, devotees engage in the temple in the service of the Lord as Archa Vigraha, a form made of stula material, like objects like stone, metal, wood, jewels, or paint, right? So all of these are called stula or physical representations. Now, since the devotees follow the regulative principles of worship, even though the Lord is there in his physical form, he is not different from his original spiritual form. So devotee gets the benefit of achieving ultimate goal of life. That is to say, becoming always absorbed the thought of the Lord. That's what Dhruva Maharaj did. So this incessant thought of the Lord, as prescribed in Bhagavad Gita, makes one the topmost yogi. So the yoga practice is not to waste this breathing. Yoga practice is not to waste our breathing. See, the breathing is wasted when you eat voraciously, when you have sex life. So these breathings are lost and wasted. So one has to control these things. Then breathing will be reserved. Plus, by samadhi means there is no breathing. And that is the process of increasing life. Increasing life means you have to got to have certain amount of breathing facility. See, if you can save it, no, without spending much. So you have to control your senses, the mind, your activities, your eating, your sleeping. Because these are breathing. See, when sleeping, snoring is there, right? So breathing, you're utilizing, lost breathing. Sex, lost breathing. Eating voraciously, lost breathing. So they have to control all these things. Then you can increase your duration of life. This is called pranayama. Prana means life, and this life, prana, right? Prana means pranayama. See, that's everybody's. We say that every year we have birthdays and then it is calculated like that. No, it is not. Life is calculated based on the rising of the sun and the setting of the sun. One day is gone, right? Like that. And everybody's breathing is already, the quota of breathing is already destined for everyone. The number of breaths you have to take, that is already covered. So you can increase the duration of your life by controlling these breathing processes. By not doing all those sex life, then voraciously eating, sleeping too much, right? So that breathing is lost. So if you have to control, you come to Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, control the senses, mind, and right. So the purpose of yogic performance is very beautifully explained. It is said that an experienced mystic, he attains full control of the senses and the mind by controlling the breathing process. So controlling breathing process is the ultimate aim of yoga. The real purpose of yogic performance is to control the mind and the senses. So anyone who has such control is to be understood to be an experienced or a mature mystic yogi. So it is indicated in the purport of 3:15:7. A yogi who has control over the mind and senses has the actual benediction of the Lord. And he has no fear. So one can attain mercy and benediction of the Supreme Lord until one is able to control the mind and senses. So this is actually possible when one fully engages in Krishna consciousness. A person whose senses and mind are always engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord has no possibility of engaging in mental activities. So devotees of the Lord are not defeated anywhere in the universe. It is stated Narayana Paraha Sarve. One who is Narayana Para, or devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is not afraid anywhere, whether he is sent to hell or promoted to heaven. Bhagavatam 6:17-28. Sorry. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura says that the living entities are representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they are the marginal potency. Whereas various bodies accepted by living entities are products of the material energy. The body is considered material, and the soul is considered spiritual. See, the origin of both of them is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Body is material, soul is spiritual, but the origin of both of them is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why in Bhagavad Gita 7.4 and 5, Bhumirapo analo vayuhu, kham mano buddhirevacha, ahankaretyam me, bhinna prakritir ashtada. Then apareyam itastvanya, prakritim vidhi me para, jiya bhutam mahabhago, yedam dharayate jagat. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. All together, these eight comprise my separate mental energies. But besides this inferior energy, O mighty Arjuna, there is a superior energy of mind, which consists of all living entities who are struggling with material nature and are sustaining the universe. So both matter and the living entities are manifestations of the energy of the Supreme Lord. So since the energy and the energetic are not different, and since the material and marginal energies are both energies of Supreme Energetic, Supreme Lord, ultimately Supreme Personality of Godhead is everything. So everything emanates from Him, right? Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, I am source of everything. spiritual and material, everything emanates. So in this regard, the example may be given of gold. Gold that has not been molded, right? The gold that has been molded into various ornaments. The difference. Gold earring, and the gold in the mine are different only as cause and effect. Otherwise, they are the same. Quality wise is the same, but quantity is different. Vedanta Sutra describes that Brahman is the cause of everything. Janmadi Yasya Yataha, first verse in Bhagavatam 111. Everything is born of the Supreme Brahman, from which everything emanates and has different energies. So none of these energies, no, should be considered false. Mayavadi's differentiation between Brahman and Maya is only due to ignorance. So the Supreme Lord is the master of the external energy, manifested by the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And as master of this energy, he is never affected by the influence of such bewildering energy. It is all coming from him, but it is not affected. The living entities, no, the jivas, are affected by, or be susceptible, no, or by influenced by such modes of material nature. We are forced, either sometimes goodness, sometimes passion, sometimes ignorance. That is the difference between the Lord and the living entities. Living entities are subjected by those qualities. Although originally the living entities are qualitatively one with the Lord as a soul and super soul. In other words, the material modes of nature, being products of the energy of the Lord, are certainly connected with the Lord. Okay. But the connection is just like between master and the servants. This is important. They are connected, but like master and servant. Supreme Lord is the controller of material energy. Whereas the living entities who are entangled in the material world, no, are neither masters nor controllers. We are not master controller, we are servant. They become subordinate or controlled by such energy. See, if actually the Lord is eternally manifested by his internal potency or spiritual energy, just like the sun and its rays in the clear sky, right? But at times he creates a material energy as the sun creates a cloud in the clear sky. So as the sun is increasingly unaffected by a spot of cloud, so also the unlimited Lord is unaffected by a spot of material energy. Manifested at times, no, in the unlimited span, right? Lord's rays of Brahmajyoti. So in Bhagavad Gita 7.4 and 5, it is given that we just now saw 8 elements of earth, right? 8 elements: earth, water, fire, air, sky, mind, intelligence, and false ego. All are products of the Lord's inferior energy. Whereas the living entities who are seen to utilize the inferior energy originally belong to the superior energy, which is the internal potency of the Lord. So the 8 inferior energies work grossly and subtly, whereas superior energy works as the central generating force. So this is experienced in the human body. See, the gross elements, namely earth, it forms the external body and are like a coat, whereas subtle mind falls and ego act like the inner clothing of the body. The movements of the body are first generated from the heart. And all the activities of the body are made possible by the senses, or by the 10 kinds of air within the body. So there are 10 kinds of air in our body. What are they? Number one, the main air passing through the nose in breathing is called prana. The air which passes through the rectum as evacuated bodily air is called apana. The air which adjusts the foodstuff from within the stomach and which sometimes sounds as belching is called samana. The air which passes through the throat and the stoppage of which constitutes suffocation is called udana. The total air which circulates throughout the entire body is called vyana. Subtler than these 5 airs, there are others also. That which facilitates the opening of the eyes, mouth is called naga air. Air which increases appetite is called krikara air. Air which helps contraction is called kurma air. The air which helps relaxation by opening the mouth wide in yawning is called devadatta air. And the air which helps sustenance is called dhananjaya air. These are the 10 types of air. So all these airs are generated from the center of the heart. And the center of the heart is only one. So this central energy is superior energy of the Lord, who is seated within the heart, the soul of the body, and who acts under the guidance of the Lord. That's why Bhagavad Gita 15.15 says, Sarvasya chaham sannivishto mata smritirjnana apohanam cha vedesya sarve hame vedyo vedanta kridveda videva chaham. So the complete central force is generated from the heart by the Lord, who is seated there and who helps the conditioned soul in remembering and forgetting. So the conditioned state is due to the soul's forgetfulness of his relationship of Krishna. So one who wants to continue to forget Lord, one who wants to please forget the Lord, he is helped by the Lord to forget him birth after birth. But one who wants to remember him by the association with the devotee of the Lord is helped to remember him more and more. So the conditioned soul can ultimately go back home, back to Godhead. See, in 4.9.17, Lord is addressed as Purushartha Murti. Dhruva Maharaj addresses Krishna as Purushartha Murti, that is the ultimate goal of life. Generally, Purushartha is taken to mean execution of a type of religious principle or worship of God in order to get material benediction. So prayers for material benediction are intended for satisfying the senses. And when one is frustrated and cannot fully satisfy the senses in spite of all endeavor, he desires liberation or freedom from material existence. So these activities are generally called Purushartha. But actually, the ultimate goal is to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is called Panchama Purushartha, the ultimate goal of life. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us not to ask from the Supreme Personality of Godhead any benediction, such as material wealth, popularity, or a good wife. One should simply pray to the Lord to be constantly engaged in his transcendental loving service. So Dhruva Maharaj, being aware of his desire for material benefit, wanted protection from the Lord so that he may not be misled or deviated from the path of devotional service by material desires. If you see in Bhagavad Gita 9.32 and 33, Mami Partha Vipashritya, Ye api syu papa yoneha, Striyo Vaishyas tata Shudras, Te api yanti param gatim, Kim punar brahmana punya, Bhakta rajarshyas tata, Anityam asukam lokam, Imam prapya bhajasvama. The Lord says that even a merchant or a fallen woman or a laborer or even human beings, the lowest status of life can attain the supreme. One does not need a highly developed intelligence. The point is that anyone who accepts the principle of Bhakti Yoga and accepts the Supreme Lord as a summum bonum of life, as the highest target, ultimate goal, they can approach the Lord in the spiritual sky. So if one adopts this principle, which is given by Bhagavad Gita, he can make his life perfect and make a permanent solution to all the problems of life. This is the sum and substance of the entire Bhagavad Gita. See, Bhagavad Gita is a transcendental literature which one should read carefully, very carefully. Gita Shastram Idam Punyam Ya Pate Prayatapaman. If one properly follows these instructions of Bhagavad Gita, one can be freed from all miseries and anxieties of life. Bhaya Shokhadi Varjitaha. One will be freed from all fears in this life, and one's next life will be spiritual. Please, in Gita Mahatmya 1. So, what is actually self-realization? This is very important to understand. All processes, religious processes, yoga practice, philosophical speculation, or anything for self-realization, any method, what is the purpose? And what is the ultimate goal of the self-realization? The ultimate goal is to understand that I am the servant of Krishna. That's it. That's all. This is self-realization. So long one is identifying oneself with this material world, with the body, with the mind, it is not self-realization. Self-realization means that I am the spirit, Supreme Lord is also spirit, so I am part and parcel of the Supreme. Just like, for example, this finger. Finger is part and parcel of this whole body. So when the finger can understand that I am the part and parcel of this whole body, and my duty is to serve the whole body, that is self-realization. So long one doesn't understand this point, he is illusion. So the difference between the material world and spiritual world means, in the material world we have forgotten Krishna. See the difference. In the material world we have forgotten Krishna. When we forget Krishna, that is material. And when we know God, when we know Krishna, existence of Krishna, then that is spiritual. This is the difference between material and spiritual. Just like this temple is spiritual, because here there is no forgetfulness of Krishna. Everyone is, every moment, 24 hours, they are always remembering Krishna. Therefore, it is spiritual world, nirguna. If you live in the temple or if you live in Krishna consciousness, then you are in the spiritual world. We are not in the material world. Material world means where Krishna is forgotten. That is material world. That's why Prabhupada in one of the lectures says, these rascals, they are thinking I am free. No, nobody is free. Now, because we are not free, that does not mean there is no freedom. There is freedom. But that is not in this world. That is in the spiritual world. Just like mirage in the desert, animal does not know that there is no water. It's simply a reflection by the sunshine. That's a reflection of water, but there is no water. So man does not run after such false water. So man does not run, right? So this similarly, this material world is reflection of the spiritual world. There is no happiness. Happiness is there in the spiritual world, but we are running after it because we are ignorant. That does not mean, see, although we are running after false water, it does not mean that there is no water. Water is there, but not in the desert. That is intelligence. Happiness is there, but not in this middle world. It is in the spiritual world. So coming to the last line, where Sharanam Sharanyam, this verse 481, very beautiful point, no? Sharanam Sharanyam. Shelter and worthy of taking shelter. See, we should correct our behavior better. Purity in our behavior is a must. The confidential thing about purity is that the more purity we have, the more things will be arranged according to our wish. Purity must be there. We do not have to do anything. Krishna will arrange. See, we are in the middle world and we have our responsibilities. But there is a shortcut way to complete the responsibilities, and that is to understand and observe purity in our behavior. The behavior pattern must be crystal clear. Nobody should be doubting us. See, once you shut your eyes from that contamination, then everything becomes very transcendental. Our responsibilities are taken care of. See, he is carrying on anyway. What are we doing? Children are there, grandchildren are there. They are growing up, studying, working. What are we doing anyway? We catch our heads and think, oh, what happened to them? What happened to them? There is no end to this. We cannot do anything. Honestly, we catch our head and that should stop. Contamination in behavior should not be there. Both men and women should be very careful and very clean in this regard. Now, because we do not understand Krishna, purity is completely away from us. Anything we come across, we have our material rods to apply to it. And there we commit mistakes. Our material rods do not work. If it has worked so far, it is because of Krishna's mercy. It is not supposed to work. One day, Vanapasta situation is there. Retirement is there. Everybody has to face this situation. In the Western world, Varnashrama is completely absent. That's why we see so many divorces, marriages, marriage being and remarriages, because they are not following the behavior pattern of Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, so much difficulty is there. Somehow, Srila Prabhupada wanted to correct this. Those who are following Srila Prabhupada in Western civilization also, they are a bit better than the ordinary crowd. This is how this process is well tested and purity has its own way. Why grandfather is respected so much? Because he was the head of the family. And he did not run like a dog here and there. The reason we are running here and there is because we have not come to Sharanam Sharanyam. We must first find out our Sharanyam, or the living entity who is worth taking shelter. And then there is surrender or Sharanam. But we do not find Sharanyam. So till that time, we are kicked out. Because we are not going to the transcendence which is worth taking shelter of, we are going to that which is not worth taking shelter. If we go to the wrong Sharanyam, we are going to be kicked. So those who choose this correctly, their position is secure. Srila Prabhupada, when he went to America, he did not have anything at all. When he got down from the ship, he did not know whether to go to the east, west. Anyway, completely, he did not know anything about this. But he could achieve so much because Sharani was there. His surrender was complete. To what did he surrender? We think that he surrendered to Krishna. But if we really think seriously, Srila Prabhupada was surrendered to Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is why he took a vow to translate the whole thing before he left this world. And that Srimad Bhagavatam, which Prabhupada loved so much, we kick out and our Sharanyam is gone. He surrendered to so many people at work and at home and serve them. We should do our service. But rest of the time, everybody should know and see that we are with Bhagavatam. That will protect you. Unless Sharanyam is there, axe is not there. Axe using to cut the tree. But to cut the tree of material life or samsara, axe is required. And when correct surrender is there, automatically axe will be there. So we are situated in samsara. Even then we are not attached. That is the secret. Once the axe is there, jigyasa is there. That is inquisitive to know Krishna. Till that time, we are not sincerely inquisitive of the Atma Tattva. Till that time, you are defeated. But those who are attached to Bhagavatam are not attached to the temporary things and relationships. So be attached to Srimad Bhagavatam, and this is Sharanam Sharanyam. Surrender to that which is worth taking shelter of. So this is an important point to understand, whom we should take shelter. So Prabhupada was so much, not only he is not, maybe see, he was more surrendered to Bhagavatam. That's why he wanted to took a vow to translate the whole Bhagavatam, so that it will be helpful for everyone. So to that Bhagavatam, we are not taking shelter. That we have to take. That is Sharanam Sharanam. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. If you have anything to share, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, what is the words of Bhagavatam, Sharanam Sharanam?
What one, Mataji?
The same verse that Prabhuji read.
Yeah, same verse. In the last line it is there. 4881, today's verse.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Prabhu, thank you very much for emphasizing on Sharanam Sharanyam, the most important part of the whole verse. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Prabhuji, wonderful class, lot of information. We need to go through it again and again. And I really like that Sharanam Sharanyam. Thank you, Prabhuji,
Yes. Thank
for
you.
helping us and guiding us. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay, fine. Thank you very much. If we don't have anything else, we'll stop here. So thank you very much, Prabhuji and Mataji, for giving me this opportunity to purify myself and glorify the Supreme Personality of God, Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.